Hi friends, welcome to my channel Biology for All. Hi dear friends, today I am going to discuss the 12th part of previous year question paper for the first Stigeoclonium biology for science laboratory. Okay, then the question is ranging from the question number 51 to 55. Okay, when we are analyzing this question, you can say that all these questions were from the classical botany portions. Okay, very simple questions. Okay, they asked these 5 questions from 3 kingdoms, that is the kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, and kingdom Plantae. In Plantae, especially from algae. Okay, let us start the discussion. Okay, let us make a look at the question number 51. The question is, mesokaryotic cellular organization is a characteristic feature of the group. Option A, diatoms. Option B, isochondri. Option C, dinoflagellates. And the final option, that is the last option, is heterochondri. Okay, based on the cellular organization, the organism can be classified into 3 main types, and they are prokaryotes, mesokaryotes, and eukaryotes. What do you mean by prokaryotes? Prokaryotes are those organisms having prokaryotic cell. What do you mean by prokaryotic cell? Prokaryotic cells are those cells lack a well-defined nucleus and membrane-bound cell organelles. Okay. When you are analyzing the prokaryotic cell, you can't see a well-defined nucleus. Well-defined nucleus means a nucleus surrounded by a defined nuclear membrane. Okay, so those cells which lack a well-defined nucleus, that is a nuclear membrane-bounded nucleus and membrane-bound cell organelles, such cells can be called as prokaryotic cell, and organism can be called as prokaryotic organism, isn't it? Okay, organism with eukaryotic cell can be called as eukaryotic organism. What do you mean by eukaryotic organism? Just opposite to prokaryote. Eukaryotic organisms are having a well-defined nucleus, that is nuclear membrane bounded nucleus, and majority of what membrane bound cell organelle. Okay, so my point is that when a cell is said to be prokaryotic cell, it should satisfy 2 criteria. It should lack what? A well-defined nucleus, and it should lack also membrane-bound cell organelles. Okay, when an organism or when a cell is called as eukaryotic cell, it should satisfy 2 criteria. What are the 2 criteria? You should have a well-defined nucleus, that is membrane-bound nucleus, and it should have majority of what? Membrane-bound organelles. Okay, that is cell organelles surrounded by membranes. Okay, then what do you mean by mesokaryotic cell? A mesokaryotic cell is the intermediate between prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Mesokaryotic cell is having certain feature of prokaryotic cell as well as certain feature of eukaryotic cell. Okay, these mesokaryotic cells are having actual a well-defined nucleus, a nuclear membrane bound nucleus. Okay, but this nucleus divides just like the DNA and cytoplasm of prokaryotic cell divide, called as amitosis. Okay, so the nucleus is similar to that of eukaryotes, but the division of the nucleus is just like the naked DNA division of the prokaryotic cell, that is amitosis. Okay, so we can call the mesokaryotic cell as an intermediate between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Okay. Okay, look at this slide. A mesokaryotic cell. What do you mean mesokaryotic cell? In some organism, the genetic material is surrounded by nuclear membrane. Okay, that is a character feature of eukaryotes. Okay, but histone protein is not associated with the DNA. Okay, when histone protein associated with the DNA, then we can call it as chromosome. DNA plus histone protein gives chromosomes. Chromosomal organization cannot be seen in prokaryote, but we can see that chromosomal organization in eukaryotes. Okay, the nucleus is larger in size and has been named as mesokaryon by Dodge. Okay, the term mesokaryon was given by a scientist Dodge. Okay, these type of cells which are intermediate between prokaryotic and eukaryote are called as mesokaryotic cell. Okay, in this type of cell, the mitotic spindle is not formed. That's why they are showing amitosis just like prokaryotes. Remember, okay, the cells of certain alga like Gymnodium and Peridinium are the examples of such type. Okay, look at the slide. These are the main point regarding mesokaryotic cell. As mesokaryotic cell contain a well-organized nucleus like that of eukaryotic cell, but its nucleus divides through amitosis like that of prokaryotes. So the cells are termed mesokaryotes, which indicates its nucleus resembles both the eukaryotic and prokaryotic nucleus. Okay, what do you mean by prokaryotic nucleus? You can't find any nucleus in the case of prokaryotes. Instead of nucleus, you can see a naked DNA. Okay, double-stranded circular naked DNA in the case of bacteria. So, in the place of nucleus, you can see that circular double-stranded naked DNA, and it is considered as a false nucleus or incipient nucleus, or another term nucleoid. So we can call that naked DNA in synonym with the nucleus of eukaryotes. That's why it is known as prokaryotic nucleus. Okay. I think now you people got some basic idea about mesokaryote, isn't it? Okay. So when you are analyzing the option, you can see diatom, isocon, dinoflagellate, heterocon, etc. But the correct option is dinoflagellate. Okay. You know that the R. Whittaker in 1969 proposed 5 kingdom classification. In 5 kingdom classification, you can see the kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista unicellular eukaryotes can be seen. That kingdom Protista contain the following classes, and they are chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, and plymouths. Okay. So dinoflagellates comes under eukaryotes under kingdom Protista as far as the classification of R. Whittaker is concerned. Okay, even though it is showing some similarity with eukaryote, but the actual cellular organization shown by or exhibited by dinoflagellates is mesokaryotic cellular organization. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option C, dinoflagellate. Okay, the question number 52 is a match the following type question. Okay, so usually this type of question is asking in CSIR, UGC, NET examination. Okay, even though we can make a look at this question. Okay, in this question, in the left part, they are providing with certain, the name of certain algae of different category. And in the right side, they are giving the classes of algae again along with certain features of the algae. Okay, so you people have to match that concerned algae with the appropriate feature or class of the algae in the right side. Okay. Okay, in the right side near the number 1, the pinlaria present, isn't it? Okay, you know that pinlaria is a diatom. Okay, diatom comes under the class Basilariophysce. Okay, diatoms are having certain silicified shells. They fit together just like two lids of soap box fit together. That's why they are known as diatom. Okay, they are phytoplanktonic in nature. And the characteristic spore produced by diatom can be called as oxospore. Oxospore, remember oxospore. Okay, so pinlaria, we can match the pinlaria with the option B in the right side, that is Basilariophysce. Okay, next one, second one is Volvox. Volvox comes under the class Chlorophyceae, commonly known as green algae. Okay, when an algal colony is having definite number of cells, definite arrangement and definite pattern, and such a type of algal colony can be called as a cenobium. Okay, so Volvox is a good example for cenobium. Remember, it's very, very important. Volvox is a good example for cenobium. Okay, and these Volvox can move from one region to another region because they consist of flagella. Hence, Volvox is a motile cenobium. Remember, Volvox is a motile cenobium. Okay, and its motion is just like a rolling motion. Hence, the common name of Volvox is rolling alga. So here we can match the volvox with the what? The chlorophyceae. That is, we can match the 2 with D. Okay. Then the next one is the Vaucheria. You know that Vaucheria is a green alga having multinucleated condition. You know that this multinucleated condition can be also called as cenozoitic condition, and this cenozoitic condition is common in those fungi having aseptate hyphae, isn't it? Okay, in cenozoitic condition, usually the cytoplasm become continuous and multinucleated. So here we can match the green algae Vaucheria with option A, Vaucheria with the option A in the right area, that is cenozoitic. Okay, the next one is the fucus. You know that fucus is a brown alga, technically known as Phaeophyceae. Brown alga, technically known as the class name what? Phaeophyceae. Okay, and this fucus is commonly seen attached with the rocky region, rocks. Hence, the fucus can be called as rockweed. Remember, rockweed. Okay, so we can match the 4 with the C. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is 1B, 2D, 3A and 4C. So the correct option for this question is option B. Okay. Okay, let us move to the next question. Nannandrous type of reproduction is characteristic of genus A. Cladophora, B. Oedogonium, C. Chaetophora and D. Stigeoclonium. Let's understand certain features of Oedogonium in brief. Okay, Oedogonium is a commonly occurring freshwater alga growing usually on substrate like sand particles, rocks, etc. The plant body is filamentous, unbranched and divisible into apex, middle and base. And cells have reticulate type chloroplast, network like chloroplast. Okay. And the most important feature is that the presence of caps on young dividing cell. Remember, it's a very important point. Presence of caps on young dividing cell is a unique feature of Oedogonium. Okay, Oedogonium exhibit 3 types of reproduction, that is vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Okay, vegetative reproduction is very elaborate. Okay, and asexual reproduction takes place by multiflagellate zoospore, where flagella are arranged around the beak-like apical region. Okay, and sexual reproduction is advanced and oogamous type. What do you mean by oogamous type of sexual reproduction? It is advanced type of sexual reproduction in which both male and female gametes are functionally and structurally distinct. That is morphologically and physiologically distinct. Okay, that is the male gamete is called sperm or anthrozoid, which is small, flagellate and motile. Whereas the female gamete is called as egg or ovum, which is stagnant, large and non-motile. That is, the egg is not provided with flagella. Okay, so they are functionally and structurally or morphologically and physiologically distinct. Such a type of advanced type of reproduction is called as oogamous type of reproduction, and this Oedogonium exhibit oogamous type of reproduction. Okay. Then the female gamete, that is the ovum, is produced singly in each oogonium. Okay, the oogamous type of reproduction is commonly exhibited by this Oedogonium, in which we can see the female sex organ known as oogonium. In each oogonium, you can see only one ovum, okay, or egg. You know that in algae, the sex organs are unicellular and non-jacket or non-protected, whereas in bryophytes, the sex organs are multicellular and jacketed or protected. You know that in algae, the male sex organ is called antheridium, whereas the female sex organ is called oogonium. Whereas in bryophytes, the male sex organ is also called as antheridium, but the female sex organ is commonly called as Oedogonium. Okay, isn't it? Okay, in Oedogonium, the male sex organ, namely antheridium, will produce 2 anthrozoids or sperm, whereas each oogonium will produce only 1 egg or ovum. Okay, based on the type of male filament, that is the filament which bear antheridium, okay, we can classify this Oedogonium into 2 types, that is Nannandrous type and Nannandrous type. In Nannandrous type, both the Oedogonium and Anthridium are produced on the same sized filament. Okay, same sized filament. Whereas in Nannandrous type of Oedogonium, the Anthridium, that is the male sex organ, is produced in the dwarf filament, very small sized filament, whereas the Oedogonium is produced on the normal sized filament. Okay, so when we are analyzing this Nannandrous type of Oedogonium, you can see that the Anthridium is present on the small sized filament, that is a dwarf filament. Okay, so and such a type of reproduction is said to be Nannandrous type of reproduction, and the other one is said to be Nannandrous type of reproduction, isn't it? In short, we can say that in Oedogonium, when we are analyzing the sexual reproduction, we can see that in some Oedogonium species, both the male and female sex organs are born on the same thallus or same plant body. Such a type of Oedogonium is said to be monoecious. Okay, whereas in some other Oedogonium species, both the male and female sex organs are present on two separate thallus. They are said to be dioecious. Okay, why they are said to be dioecious? The sexes are separated. Okay, when both the male and female sex organs are present on the same thallus, there is single thallus. Single means mono, that's monoecious. When it is present in two different thallus, it is said to be two different dioecious. Okay. Hence, the correct answer for this question is option B, Oedogonium. Remember, Nannandrous type of reproduction is a type of reproduction in which the male sex organ, namely Anthridium, is produced on dwarf filament, whereas the female sex organ, namely Oedogonium, is produced on a normal sized plant body or a filament. Okay, when it is in monoecious or dioecious condition. Okay, what do you mean by Nannandrous type of reproduction? It's a type of reproduction in which both the male and female sex organs, namely Anthridium and Oedogonium, are produced on the same sized filament or same sized plant body, isn't it? Whether it is in monoecious or dioecious condition. So, now I think you people got the correct answer for this question. That is the option B, Oedogonium. Okay. Okay, I am inviting your attention to the next question. The question is, an example for bioluminescent algal form is option A, Microcystis oringosa, option B, Gymnodinum breve, option C, Noctiluca miliaris, and option D, Euglena viridis. Okay, what do you mean by bioluminescence? Bioluminescence is the phenomenon of emission of light by a living organism as a result of enzyme catalyzed biochemical reaction in them. Okay, and that reaction is said to be what? Chemiluminescence reaction. Okay. Okay, in this slide I am showing the picture of a dinoflagellate, namely Noctiluca. Okay, these dinoflagellates are mainly noted for their capacity to produce bioluminescence. Okay, and this bioluminescence is as a result of certain chemical reaction taking place in them. Okay, for example, the enzyme luciferase is having the capacity to produce certain protein luciferin, and which in turn produce certain glow or luminescence. Okay, so Noctiluca is an example for a bioluminescent alga capable of producing bioluminescence. Okay, and according to the Whittaker classification, this Noctiluca comes under the class dinoflagellate and under kingdom Protista. Whereas when we are considered these Noctiluca as algae, it comes under the kingdom Plantae. Okay, you know that the entry of organism or categorization of organism into different category may vary in accordance with the type of classification prevailing, isn't it? Okay. Okay, this slide shows a major type of organism exhibiting bioluminescence. On the right top corner, you can see the bioluminescent alga, namely Noctiluca. It's also a dinoflagellate, remember. So the correct answer for this question is option C, Noctiluca miliaris. It's a bioluminescent alga. It's also a dinoflagellate according to Whittaker's classification, isn't it? Okay. Let us move to the next question. Which of the following algae is not used as biofertilizer for nitrogen fixation? Option A, Anabina. Option B, Oscillatoria. Option C, Nodularia. Option D, Laminaria. Okay, look at the option. The option A is Anabina. Anabina is a blue-green alga or a cyanobacteria. You know that blue-green algae are also considered as cyanobacteria. Why? Because they are sharing certain features of algae as well as bacteria. Hence, they are said to be blue-green alga or cyanobacteria. These blue-green algae or cyanobacteria are having prokaryotic nature, that is, they lack a well-defined nucleus and membrane-bound cell organelle. Then why they are considered as algae? Because they contain algae-like pigment, namely C-phycocyanin and C-phycoerythrin. These two pigment gives characteristic blue-green nature to the algae. Okay, hence the name blue-green alga. Okay, this cyanobacteria can be also called as blue-green alga, and that class is known as Cyanophyceae or Mixophyceae. Remember, Cyanophyceae or Mixophyceae. So, Anabina can fix nitrogen due to the presence of a structure known as heterocyst. Okay, when you are analyzing the structure of Anabina, you can see certain intercalary cells, that in between cell, they are highly thickened and hyaline in nature. And such a type of specialized thickened hyaline cells can be called as heterocyst, and that heterocyst actually perform the nitrogen fixation. Okay, so Anabina can be used as a biofertilizer. Okay, you know Anabina symbiosis. You know Azolla Anabina symbiosis. Azolla is widely used in paddy field as a biofertilizer. Why? Because that Azolla contained was Anabina association. That Anabina will fix the atmospheric nitrogen into useful nitrogenous compound which can utilized by the plant. Okay. The next one is the Oscillatoria. Oscillatoria can also fix nitrogen, but it doesn't have the structure heterocyst. Such a type of cyanobacteria is said to be non-heterocystous nitrogenous bacteria. Okay, cyanobacteria. Okay, or blue-green alga. Nodularia is also a cyanobacteria or blue-green alga which contain heterocyst. Hence, it can perform what? Nitrogen fixation. So, due to the capacity for nitrogen fixation, this Anabina, Oscillatoria, Nodularia can be used as a biofertilizer. Okay. But laminaria, you know that laminaria is a marine alga, it is a brown alga, it doesn't have any nitrogen fixing property, hence it cannot be used as a biofertilizer. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is option D, laminaria. Remember, laminaria is a brown alga which doesn't have the capacity for nitrogen fixation, hence it cannot be utilized as a biofertilizer. Okay, the point is that if an organism is going to use as a biofertilizer, it should have a property, namely biological nitrogen fixation, isn't it? Okay, laminaria lacks the capacity for biological nitrogen fixation. Moreover, it is a marine alga, so it cannot be used as a biofertilizer. Okay. Okay, next I want to introduce a term diazotroph. Diazotroph. What do you mean by diazotroph? Diazotrophs are those organisms having the capacity to perform two phenomena. That is, they can perform photosynthesis as well as fix nitrogen. Okay, those organisms have the capacity to perform photosynthesis as well as have the capacity to involve in biological nitrogen fixation. They can be called as diazotroph. Okay, hence cyanobacteria is a good example for diazotroph. Hence, they are actively involved in photosynthesis and biological nitrogen fixation. Okay, correct answer for this question is option D, laminaria. Thanks for watching. The remaining part of the discussion will be uploaded as early as possible. Thank you once again. If you people really feel this video useful, please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe my channel. And also don't forget to press that bell icon, then you people will be notified with each and every video at the time of uploading. Thank you so much.